All right. Hi, everyone. This is Gilberto from Maverick Media Lab, and I'm here with one of our clients, Randy Bongard, and he is going to be talking about and giving his honest feedback on his experience with Maverick Media Lab and the realtor appointments that he's got. And Randy, I really appreciate you sharing your time and giving your honest feedback.
Sure, you're welcome.
Awesome. So we'll start off with just a quick introduction. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in the mortgage industry.
Okay. Been doing it for 11 years, 7 years on the banking side, 4 years on the broker side. 100% of my business has been a direct result of my cold calling and prospecting efforts, turning those into, quality long-term relationships. Yeah. I mean, it's 100% cold calling.
So you were already, like, I guess before working with you were already pretty proactive with your outreach. Like, it sounds like you were already cold calling realtors.
Correct.
And that's like the main way that you've gotten your realtor partners up until this point. What made you, I guess, what were some of those things that you were coming across, some of the bottlenecks or the reason you had started working with us? Like, was it kind of a time thing, or what was the main thing?
No, I was just more curious than anything, to be honest. I was just, you guys say that you can set up, and schedule more calls. I was just curious more than anything to see what you could do compared to what I could do.
Awesome. And what did you find, like, once we got into it, like, what were the things that you saw, like, us doing it for you versus just doing it yourself?
Well, I mean, it's certainly easier to have an appointment scheduled for you, a certain day, a certain time. Of the, let's say, 45 agent calls that you guys scheduled, I mean, there may have been, I don't know, 8 or so. Maybe it was even 10. Let's just go 10 for easy math. So maybe there was 10 no-shows of the 45. So there was really 35, quality calls. What I liked about it was, the person was sort of ready for a call, right? They were expecting a call. So the call was a little bit easier as opposed to a true cold call, where oftentimes, they'll just, they're bugged. It's a cold call, right?
Yeah.
And they want the call to be as short as possible. At least with the calls that I had that you guys set up, there really wasn't any urgency to the calls. If you wanted to take 10, 15 minutes, it was pretty comfortable to do so. I mean, that was different.
Awesome. So it was a lot warmer as compared to the cold call. And like, it sounded like you were able to go a lot longer and actually, like, explain things and really have a true conversation with the realtor. What was their, I'm curious to know, like, when you had those, the showed calls, what were their openness to the call, and, like, just in general to having a lender talk to them? What was their openness on the meetings?
I always ask that question, like, why did you say yes to this call? And it was one of two things. They were just kind of curious, why a company was calling to set up a call with a loan officer. That was different. So they were really just kind of curious what I had to say. And I think, some also felt like, the call was to talk about, like, lead generation, but I mean, that's not really, what I do. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. It seems like that's I guess it's because, like, usually, like, loan officers, sometimes they'll use that as, like, the main kind of thing to go towards the real estate agents. It seems like we've kind of noticed, even though we don't say it, like, they still come in with those kind of expectations. They kind of just assume loan officers are trying to, like, sell them some sort of stuff.
Yeah, I would never do that. I don't think it ever really works long term.
Yeah, doing the Zillow co-marketing and all that. I agree. Right. And I guess let's talk about the results. Like, all right, we had the 35 showed. Who were the ones that started, like, sending referrals and closed deals? And what were the timeframes for those?
Yeah, there was one in particular, and of the 45 calls that you guys scheduled, she was actually the highest producing agent, right? Surprisingly, I think she had closed 36 buy-side transactions in the last 12 months.
Wow.
Most of the agents that I spoke with, of the 35, their production levels weren't anywhere near that. And I don't know. I mean, I think it was just, you know, timing, right? She was open to the call. She liked what I had to say. And I mean, within a few days, she had sent the first lead, and I mean, they were probably under contract a few days later. Long story short, we closed within 30 to 45 days, maybe it was 60 days. We closed 3 transactions for like $1.5 million. She's still sending me leads today. Yeah. I mean, that was the one that was pretty incredible. There's a few others that have sent, a lead or two here and there, but that was truly the one, real success story, that came out of, that initial tranche. Yeah.
Awesome. And you had the 2 others that started sending referrals as well, right?
Yeah.
The other ones.
Right.
Nice. That's amazing. Awesome. And like, I guess what was the main thing like that, apart from the curiosity, because I'm sure you got a lot of like marketing emails and people like pitching you stuff. So what was the thing that I guess made you want to work with us, as compared to like, the other options you have and like other things that might have been offered to you before?
I was really just more curiosity on my part, right? So sort of same as the agents. This is something that I do every day. And I was just curious what you guys could do compared to what I could do. That's all.
Gotcha. Okay. So just kind of accelerating those results. And
Yeah.
I guess for someone who might be viewing this now is like, probably just heard of us, or they've hopped on a call with us and they're considering, moving forward with this and moving forward on this service. Like, what would you say to that person specifically just thinking about it?
What would I say? Yeah, I mean, I think it's, it's worth it, to have 15 or 20, calls scheduled for them a month. Then obviously it's up to them to convert those, into transactions, into loans. It is nice to have, scheduled meetings as opposed to, true cold calls. Yeah.
Did that free up some time for you? Like now that you didn't have to do as many cold calls or do, take that extra time to dial on your own?
No, I didn't. I mean, I still make all my cold calls every day. So I just made sure to jump on those calls when they were scheduled. But no, I didn't slow anything down on my end. No.
Got it. Interesting. All right. So usually like people that come to us, they stop on their own and then just have us do it. So yours was kind of like you're already doing the dials, and this was more like putting fuel on the fire and kind
Correct.
of as more supplement to have the calls from us, kind of just stacked on with the
Right.
calls you were already doing.
Correct.
Gotcha.
But it was
Awesome.
nice. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say it was nice having a few calls scheduled every week.
Yeah, warm meetings. Like
That was easier.
after that many cold calls, like it just like you feel the difference of like
Oh yeah,
someone
it's a much easier. It is. It's a much easier. Yeah.
Yeah, way big difference. I say that from experience as well. Just like a big difference. So yeah, I'm really glad. It always makes me happy that we see like great client results like this, like the transactions, and like for that one, like phenomenal that you got a top producer,
right.
3 transactions. I mean, first one in like 30 to 45 days, so that's excellent. And and I really appreciate taking time out of your day. It's September now, so I'm sure there's still deals flowing in and things that you got to get done. So I really appreciate you giving your honest feedback and sharing your time with us. I really appreciate it.
You got it, man.